Hello everyone, I'm here in 4K. Who would have thought of that? I got a green screen. I'm not going to touch it because it will fall over. But I'm here in live action. I got my Mario hat. So I had to get rid of the Donkey Kong mask because it just f***ed up the audio. You can't hear a thing. So I just used the most original idea and put a mask and glasses on. No one's ever done it before. I think I might be the only one who has ever done that before. So what are we going to be talking about in today's video? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to be talking about 6. Alright? F***ing hell. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at 6 the musical. A musical about Henry VIII's 6 wives and all their stories told through music. You may remember a couple of videos ago I took a look at one of these songs and I wanted to die. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the whole musical. How wonderful.
Now, I don't particularly like musicals to begin with, but I can respect some like Hamilton that, you know, aren't just stupidly cringy. But I cannot describe to you how cringy this is. They try and be really hip and trendy, and just look at this. Just look at it.
1522 came straight to the UK. All the British dudes lame. Epic fail.
What the f***? You see, with something like Hamilton, they try and make the songs timeless so that no matter when you listen to them, it won't feel dated. I just described the meaning of timeless. But you get what I mean. And even with things such as the cabinet battle, there wasn't really much direction they could have taken it. So we've got to give them a bit of leeway there. But this This was outdated before it came out. Another thing before we jump into the songs is who the f*** was this made for? I guess the same could be said for Hamilton, but just who is this made for? On the one hand you have the LOL or go to hell shit, but on the other hand you have this. This is what pret-a-manger means, by the way, and I think you can pretty clearly figure out what she meant by that. So it's too adult for kids, and by the way, if you say, ooh, well, kids don't know what that means, there is a song in this musical that tackles a pretty heavy subject, and I'm just not going to talk about it throughout this video because, you know, it's a pretty heavy subject. But yeah, that shit isn't for kids, and it's too cringy for an older audience to enjoy, so who is it made for?
So the first song is Ex-Wives, and it's not bad, it's not good in any means either. It does a pretty good job of roll calling all the different wives and telling their story with a few questionable lines in there.
Didn't look as good as I did in my pic. Funny how we all discussed that, but never Henry's little
But other than that, it's okay. So then we get on to the second song, and you know what? It's not even that bad. It's pretty good, it tells a good story, it's got a good flow, it's pretty catchy. All's looking good so far. You know what? I'll give this a good 5 out of 10. Not too bad. I hope that the next song is just as good as this one. Oh. So the third song. Oh my god, third song. This is the song that I looked at in my YouTube video, and this just shows the dark underbelly of this musical. I don't get how anyone could have thought this song was good. It's just filled with completely outdated references from 2010 or just weird sexual innuendo. So the next song is actually pretty good, like surprisingly good. It's a really somber, slow-paced song, and it's clever. It's one of the only songs that's genuinely clever. It's got this clever line where she repeats the line she had in the first song, Ex-Wives, but in this song, and how?
Jane Seymour, the only one he truly loved. You're the only one I've ever loved.
How does this movie keep going from good to bad, good to bad? And if we're following that train of reference, you can see what's going to happen next. I might have to correct myself. This is the worst song in this fucking musical. Oh my god. So this is going to be a bit of a double act because we've got 2 songs here that are pretty similar. So let's just get through them. So the next wife is Anne of Cleves, and she's the only German character in the movie of like she's of German like descent. I don't fucking know history, alright? I'm just going off what the musical's telling me at this point. So how do you think this musical handles its only German character? Do you think there's some good wordplay, maybe poking a bit of fun here and there? No. Let's show you what they actually do with their only German character.
Looking cute, das ist gut. I'm a Wiener Schnitzel, not an English flower. Oh ja, das ist gut, oh ja. Ich bin Anna of Cleves. Ja. When he saw my portrait, he was like, yeah.
Just piss off! Oh my god. Oh, my hat. No, Mario! There's no clever wordplay. There's no references to Germany. There is nothing. The whole there's one song where the whole backing vocals is "Das ist gut, oh ja."
So the song is called House of Holbein, and this became famous on TikTok for this line.
Brings the corsets, will bring this inches. No one wants a waist over 9 inches.
It's just strange. But then the second song is about Anne of Cleves, and it's even worse. Like, all of these songs so far have had a theme. Like, the first one was about how Catherine was being replaced with Anne Boleyn. The Anne Boleyn one, for as shit as it was, told a consistent narrative about how what Anne Boleyn says constantly gets her into trouble up until the point where her head gets chopped off. And Jane Seymour's tells the story about how she'll love the king no matter what, even though she knows he only loves her because she gave him a son. But Anne of Cleves isn't like any of these. I don't even know what it's about. She talks about her day, then talks about how she catfished the king, then talks about what she does when she goes to a club, and then talks about random shit like gold chains and schnitzels. And I'm not even taking the mickey, I'm being dead serious. At least Anne Boleyn, for as cringe as it was, told a narrative. This couldn't even be bothered to do that.
So the next song I'm not going to talk about because it is quite serious. So just moving along, let's go on to the next song, which is about the final queen, and it's alright. It's not too bad, but it's not the best either. It's just kind of there. I don't know, fucking 4 out of 10. Who the fuck cares anymore? So now we're here on the final song of the musical, and it's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. So it's basically a what if segment about like what all the queens would do if they never met King Henry and all the bad things in their life never happened to them. But instead of it being just like, oh, they went off and lived a happy life, they choose to do it in a very weird way. For example, the first queen states that she declined Henry's proposal and then went off to a nunnery where she sung choir songs and lived her life happily. Fine. I honestly don't care. But then Anne Boleyn just comes in and says that she wrote a song, got signed to a label, and now she writes lyrics for Shakespeare.
And now I'm writing lyrics for Shakespeare.
What? Ignoring the fact that labels didn't exist back then and you couldn't get signed for music. She was buried 28 years before the fucker was born. Then Seymour comes in and says she made a band or something. And then says a shit pun. I think she said the Roiling Stones. I just want it to end, man. It genuinely just confuses me why they did this. Like, imagine if in Hamilton, at the very end, they go, oh, but guys, don't worry. Hamilton didn't get shot. He actually just opened a guitar shop down the street. Don't worry, he's perfectly fine now. He's still alive. You can go visit him. Like, they talk about throughout this whole musical how they've been overshadowed by history. But then just actively change history. And that, my friends, is Six the Musical. I had a lot of fun making this video. As you can see, it's a brand new setup and all that. I fucking really enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed this new type of content, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.